Welcome back to the Arabella boathouse. This week, Alix is working on the sill plates that go all the way around the housetop opening, and Steve will finish framing out the aft deck beams around the cockpit.
If you're taking a quick break, do you want to look at this thing with me quickly?
Sure.
So for the last couple days, I've been working on fitting the sill for the house. The house is going to sit right on top of this opening, and we are fitting this 2¼ by 2¼ piece of black locust all the way around. and then the house is going to get built up off of this. This is going to provide a little buffer between the planking and the house top. We'll be able to caulk back in here, but we'll go over that whole setup soon. What I'm doing right now is I need this to fit real well, nice and flush on here, all the way around, and there's going to be half flap joints at the corners. So some of this isn't laying flat, and I just need to tweak my angle a little bit more, but I'm pretty close. I think that should be finished tomorrow.
Got all these timbers cut out today and got all the short beams fit for around the cockpit here, and got these deck beams laid out, and I think it is time to call it quits. But tomorrow morning I'm just going to double check here and make sure I have this hatch where I want it and that it's square and all of that seems good. And then I'll have a couple more joints to cut, and then all of the aft decking here can get drilled and sanded and sealed and get installed. And then I'll start working my way forward and finishing things up. Alix is almost done with the sills around the house, and then we'll be able to do the house side mock-up, and the decking project for now will be pretty close to done. It'll be time to move on to other things, which will always be fun. It's kind of like just when we get good at something, we finish it up and it's on to the next challenge, but that's what keeps it interesting. So I'm gonna get some grub and see y'all tomorrow. This is the point where I've got to think a couple moves ahead. think I want to drill for the rivets. They're gonna hold these doubled up beams together. Well, good thing I already got you marked, huh? And then those will stay. They'll be a unit. I won't have to think about them. And maybe I want to drill down through the shelf as well. And then I can bolt these in, get all the clamps out of there. And then all I'll have to do is cut the carlins. And I will have a lot fewer obstacles. And what just happened where I leaned on this and I slid it off to the side, that kind of thing won't happen. I mean, not that I think it will. This is all clamped down really well, but you can be sure it won't. I got our 1/4-inch holes that go through, so I can put the rivets in. And now I'm going to drill down for the shelf here. And I think I'm just going to drill this 4 one, because there's a bolt that goes right through, kind of like that, that hooks this frame into the, goes through the through that live oak wing there underneath the shelf. So if I were to drill through here, I'd have to come way out on the edge to be able to miss that bolt. So I think this one's just gonna get 1 bolt up on the forward one, and that'll be totally fine. We'll see if we can get 2 on the other side, and if not, it's really no big deal. But we'll get that drilled, and then I'll put the bolts in there, and just enough to register it so that it can't move. I won't drive them all the way. And then I can finish cutting those carlins quite confidently, knowing that nothing is going to move. Cool, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 holes going down through the shelf to hold the deck beams down. And then there's a few holes, like 1, 2, 3, that go fore and aft for the rivets to hold those doubled up beams together. So I'm going to pretty much take this whole thing apart. I'm going to leave the doubled up beams doubled up and go drive some rivets through them. And then clamp them and lightly bolt them in place. And then I can get those these fore and aft carlins here. And this hole is going to end up being the aft hatch. So that'll be a good spot to throw fenders and that kind of thing. And you can see just forward of that is the cockpit. And right now I've got a couple boards here on the cockpit so that I could park my bag and my butt. Okay. Gotta go fire up the air compressor, run the lines, and collect the riveting equipment. And then it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rivets. That won't take very long. I think it's gonna take me as long to gather everything and charge the compressor as it is to put the rivets in. Bingo, bango. Morning. Actually, good timing.
I was wondering what you were sounding.
Feel like throwing some ears on and holding the set for me, so I don't blow out the back. So those are nice and solid where they're going to be. Holes are drilled. That'll all register back together. So now that I know they're not going to move at all, I can go through and start making the notches so that I can fit the carlins in here. And once those carlins are all fit and drop in, this whole assembly will pretty much be ready to come out. And actually I got to drill the knees, and then the whole assembly can come out and everything can get sealed, and we can get it installed and keep working forward and just kind of tidying things up as we go. No, I am not. Okay. Should have seen that one coming. That's okay. Because of the shelves here, I can't cut these. I mean, I probably could. It's gonna be a nightmare. It's way faster. Much faster to do that. Just gonna bring that over the bench, cut those, chisel those, bring it back, drop it in here, and finish these up.
I tried to get here earlier, but I got a problem. I sleep slow.
You sleep slow. So I'm going to put these in upside down, but with aft to aft, 4 to 4. Tuck it up nice and tight against the end of the mortise there, and then I'll mark this end. And that give us the furthest extent. So we'll cut that off there, and that should be the exact right distance. And I have no idea what the measurement is. Doesn't really matter. Now I'll cut this, and I will cut, I don't know, 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Proud of this, and trim it down a little bit and sink it in there just in case I'm a little bit off. So go cut those, get Randy going, getting ready to go on the sanding. I think I'll drill those knees after lunch and get him cranking on those, and wrap this up after that. Cool. Well, I'm gonna go drop those off with Randy. I don't know if you can hear in the background, but he's got the sander going. And I'll jump back and finish fitting those carlins to do the aft hatch there. And then, yeah, framing back here is pretty much done.
This is what the house is going to sit on and is going to get built up off of. So we're going to laminate the house top up on top of this, but they're not going to be connected. But so what I need to do right now is, now that I faired out the deck around it, I need to make sure that this is going to raise up straight. So if it's not quite fair, like I noticed that there is a couple of spots, like right in here, where there's a pretty big deviation. And if we do that, the house isn't going to be built up completely fair. So what I got to do right now is just give this a couple more tweaks, and then in the corners over here where they come into each other, I'm going to have to cut a half lap so that they overlap. So that will be the next step once I fair all of this stuff out.
I just finished fitting the 2 carlins here that frame out the aft hatch. So I'm going to pop that out, bring that down to Randy, and figure out what's next.
Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you like the video, and if you haven't done it yet, click subscribe as well. If you click on the bell next to the subscription button, you'll get a notification whenever a new video is up. Next week, Steve will work on the mast blocking for the mizzen, and Alix keeps up work on the housetop. We'll get to see a mock-up of that soon. So stay tuned and hope to have you here again next week.